welcome to Vera's Recorder channel. You are not a professional recorder player, but you would love to play like one. You would like to improve your recorder playing and master that one difficult piece that you love to play. Such a piece could, for example, be the Partita for solo flute from Johann Sebastian Bach, which I made a video about it some time ago on my German recorder channel, about its structure and how you can play it. But what if you even not can play the notes of it? You have no clue what notes there are with these three flats in the beginning. And all these high and low notes. You see no chance to breathe in this piece. This Partita of Bach is an example, but perhaps you have some other piece which is so beautiful and you would love to play, but you have no idea how to start. You know that if you would play this difficult piece, you would have to fix different things, many things. Perhaps your breathing, perhaps your fingers, perhaps the rhythm that you always struggle with. Or you don't have any clue how to play beautiful ornaments. It's clear that we cannot fix all this at once. We have to make small steps, but on the other hand, all these things are related to each other. If I cannot play the notes and the tones of a piece, I cannot try how the rhythm sounds. And if I have difficulties in the rhythm and I get stuck in the middle of a piece, my breathing cannot come flowing. And if my breathing is not flowing, I cannot play beautiful ornaments, for example. And if we take this piece of Bach as an example, all the difficulties come into our eyes at once. We see many notes, we see very high notes, very low notes, no chance to breathe, and the three flats in the beginning. Which tones are this? Which notes will that be? Where to start? What happens if your goal is just to play the Bach Partita perfectly, for example? The problem is that this goal can be so overwhelming that at one point you will find this piece is just too difficult for me, and maybe one day I will be able to play this difficult piece. One of the solutions is, of course, that you break it down into smaller steps, but that have to be the right steps. Not just learning and improving slowly, but you have to find out how can you manage this piece so that it helps you for your recorder playing. So instead of having the ambition of going on stage, playing this piece perfectly, you could have a look at your difficulties and where in this piece do you meet your difficulties, and can you work on your problems on playing the recorder with the help of this piece. And I want you to think about it. What does mean for you mastering a piece? Perhaps you should ask another question. What can you master in this piece? And what can you improve in this piece concretely? Many recorder players think they have to play one piece after the other perfectly, and then they can go on and play a more difficult piece, also perfectly. And I can tell you that this will probably make you a bit unhappy in your recorder playing. What would be your aims? You would love to improve your technique on the recorder. You want to play with musical expression. You want to discover new possibilities in playing. You want to get musical ideas. And now I will try to show you how you can have all this if you explore what exactly you can learn in such a piece. I will give you a few examples of what I mean. Example number 1. Imagine you open this piece for the first time. You have heard it somewhere and you get the score, the musical notes, and you try to play it. You even don't know some of the fingerings. You have no idea where you can breathe, and you don't know how fast it is to play. Then you could start to get to know the tones, the notes. Perhaps you know that the flats in the beginning, in this example of the Bach Partita, tell us what the names of the notes are. So if you have one flat, for example, you already know perhaps that instead of the B, you have to play a B flat. Try to find out what the other two flats are standing for. You can just Google it, or you can ask your teacher. Try to explore which of the notes are that. And then try to find them in the piece, learn their fingerings, and even better, try to find out what the key is and try to exercise on a scale of this key. You could even play another piece with 3 flats, which is much easier to play, a very easy piece. Go and try to find one with 3 flats where the rhythm is easier, where you can easily breathe. Or if you say, I want to practice this in this difficult piece, then try to find out what the tones around these difficult notes are, and you have to explore which fingerings there are. Second example could be, you know all the notes or nearly all the notes, but you still play mistakes sometimes and you don't know where to breathe. It could be that you play the mistakes because you don't know where to breathe. Then you should think about, where can I breathe and why should I take breath there and not on another point. So you have to find out what the phrasing is. Where is the musical idea beginning? Where does it end? What is the music telling us? And then you can find out where it's logical to breathe. And of course, in such a piece like the Bach Partita, we have to breathe if we want to survive. Third and last example, you know the phrasing, you can play all the notes and you exactly know where to breathe, but still it doesn't sound really nice. It's perhaps boring, you have no idea why it doesn't work. And how can we improve our musical playing on the recorder and on any other instrument? Think about timing. which notes your phrasing is going toward, for example. Dynamics, pauses, because also if you know where to breathe, that doesn't mean that you really take a pause, that you just breathe technically at these points, but musically you are not involved, like this is a point of breathing also musically. Of course you cannot fix all these aspects in one time, but perhaps you take one of them, like timing, and you try different ways to play the piece. Not too metronomical, but with expression. Some notes slower than others, and some notes even faster, so that it gets a certain movement. So what have all these examples in common? In every single case, you are directly improving a specific aspect of your recorder playing. And that's something you will benefit from in every piece that you play. Not only on the Bach partita, for example, but as a musician. So you should not try to play one piece after the other perfectly. You should use these pieces to improve your playing. So I hope I could motivate you today to go on with that difficult piece and many other difficult pieces. If you find this useful, I would be happy if you write it down in the comments. And I hope we see each other next time on Vera's Recorder channel. Bye!